Hanging out here in Lakeland on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon with a guy who lives right down the street. We're at the park, maybe not even 3 minutes away from the New York State Fairgrounds, with announcing legend Joe Marotta. When I first came to Dirt in 1995, I was lucky enough not only to meet a new coworker, but that coworker actually turned out to be one of my better friends in the business. I sat with Joe Marotta on my left, Glenn Donnelly on my right, and boy, did I learn a lot of things really fast. Come back for another. We'll talk specifically more about the dirt side, but with this one, we're going to talk more about Oswego, where Joe Marotta has been announcing as a regular since 1992. That was the first year that the small block supers actually came, and he's been announcing overall since 1966, and of course he went to the fairgrounds as a kid. Joe Marotta, how you doing, man?
Well, it couldn't be better. It's a beautiful day. I think we should go racing today.
Actually, we probably should. This would be a good day to do it. Of course, Eastern State's coming up this weekend, by the way. So how are you doing this year? Because let's get this one out of the way, because I want to make sure we talk about this before. And you actually had a scare up at Oswego this year. What happened?
Well, it was Memorial Day weekend. I took a little walk through the pit area, as I always do, and stopped and talked to the drivers, car owners, and crews, and so on, and then got myself upstairs. And as you probably know, that's quite a walk up there at Oswego. Not as bad as Syracuse.
No, not even close.
No. And I sat there, did my notes, and brought a double sandwich for Roy and myself, and handed him his half. And next thing I know, I was on the ground, people all over me, and I passed out. So the emergency squad, the safety crew, came up there in depth, and my blood pressure was a little low and everything, and so they elected to take me to the hospital, and they took me to St. Joe's, which was quite a ride in an ambulance. And first time I ever did that.
Oh, really? First ambulance ride. Hopefully the last one, too.
Yeah. And I was there for 2.5 days, and they determined that I was dehydrated.
Interesting.
And I just wasn't drinking enough water.
Huh.
So, and that was it. That was it. They ran me through 2.5 days of tests and put the checkered flag out and said, well, they didn't put the checkered flag out.
They put the green back out.
Yeah.
They got rid of the caution.
You're dehydrated.
Huh.
So I have to drink at least 64 ounces of water a day.
Okay. Are you like me? Because I know, like, when you're an announcer, a lot of times, you can't be running back and forth to the bathroom. Do you? Because, like, on a race day when I was announcing, I wouldn't drink as much water just because I knew that could be. Is that you or no? Or did this happen by accident?
When I have to go to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom. So thank God for Roy up there in the tower at Oswego. So a lot of times I'll tap him on the shoulder. Take over for a minute.
Okay. Not like the time at Rolling Wheels, which we'll tell another story another day. That's another
that was
one.
A great one. Yeah.
That one we're going to save and tease you for it down the line. What's the attraction for you with Oswego? Was that one of the places you went as a kid too?
Well, I started going there in the early 60s. As a matter of fact, my wife lived in Fulton, and a Saturday night date was pick her up in Fulton, go to Oswego, and watch the races. Those were the days of Jimmy Champagne, Nolan Swift, Jack Murphy, and I just fell in love with the place. And then we would go to Rudy's for a fish sandwich or a hot dog or something and call it a night. And that was it. That's how I got hooked at Oswego.
So your wife was from Fulton too, just like mine. Another thing
that
I didn't realize that we had in common over all these years.
Well, she's originally from Olean, New York.
Oh, way down there.
Way down there.
Okay, all right.
Down in the southern tier.
All right. So what was it that brought you to Oswego in the first place? Because you said you used to do a few specials there on occasion before you became a regular?
Well, yeah. Romy Caruso and George Caruso and Doug Caruso, I became very good friends with them. And, of course, I was announcing in other shows. And I would go up for the 200s, the sportsman races, the modified races, and the supers. And it was just a privilege to be there. It was like going to Yankee Stadium. And then eventually George and Romy, well, I got to tell you how Romy talked me into going.
Okay.
We were flying to Florida, I think it was just after Christmas, prior to New Year's, and Romy Caruso and his wife were on the same flight, and Byron and I were sitting there, and Romy came back, and he says, hey, we're getting that new class in this summer called Small Block Super Modifieds. I said, oh, yeah, that sounds good. He said, you're going to be there, right? And I says, well, at 30,000 feet, I didn't know what Romy Caruso was going to do, if he was going to throw me out of the plane or what. So I says, yeah, I guess I'll be there every Saturday night.
Where were you
And-
before that?
Pardon me?
Were you someplace before that on Saturdays?
Prior to that, I was at Canandaigua as a regular announcer, and then when Glenn took over Orange County, I was down there for a couple years.
It's
And,
just an easy drive, if I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
correctly.
just
right?
outside of Binghamton,
Yeah,
as he
yeah,
said
just
it.
outside of Binghamton.
So I did Orange County for a couple of years, and then my son was into quarter midget racing, so
Yeah,
I
right
wanted
over
to
here
take some time
at Syracuse,
right down
yeah.
at the fairgrounds. So I wanted to take some time to race with him and so on.
Absolutely.
So I used to do just Sunday nights and I think Friday nights at Rolling Wheels.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
back when Rolling Wheels was a regular track running.
Yes, yes.
So did you learn and almost appreciate the asphalt a little more after doing the quarter midgets with your son, or did it just
Well,
kind of happen? I guess that
You
you
know,
ended
racing is racing. I don't care. I mean, I'm not a driver. I'm not.
They're different,
setting up
but
a car,
you're right. Yeah.
And different terminology and things like that. And and I kept an eye on both. Remember, I started at Fulton when it was asphalt.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
true.
Yeah.
And most tracks were asphalt back then, right? Unlike
Well,
today,
you
weren't
had
they?
you had Waterloo back then. You had Canada. Well, Canandaigua was not a regular at that
Mm-hmm.
time, but Bob Benway during my term at Fulton, and I didn't mean a jail term. My term at Fulton.
Yes, your time at Fulton.
in
yes.
asphalt. Bob Benway took over Canandaigua, reopened it, and so I was the announcer up there, and really enjoyed it. And
Okay.
you know what? I like racing.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hear the big blocks, small blocks. I like to hear the open headers. Just let them go.
Yeah, and there is something about the Oswego area. I've talked to so many people who are longtime fans of Oswego, and they talk about growing up blocks away from the
Yeah.
track and hearing it as a kid.
Yeah.
There is something different. Everybody in Oswego knows that track's there, don't they?
Oh yeah, they can hear it without a doubt.
And there is something about not getting your shoes dirty and not having to clean a car off the next
Well,
day.
yeah,
and all
definitely.
Of that.
Yeah, I remember
So-
some nights at Rolling Wheels where you couldn't. You had to wash your window before you could go out the parking lot.
Yeah, we don't get that over at Oswego. That's the
No,
nice thing
not at
about
all.
that. How was this past season?
Very good, very good. Very exciting, very competitive, and just a great place to go racing.
Going back?
Of course.
Of course.
Of
All right.
course.
Any Friday stuff possibly somewhere down the road? I know you did some stuff at Spencer.
My wife isn't doing that well health-wise,
sorry.
and I hate to leave her 2 nights in a row.
I get that.
I have had offers for Friday nights, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, it's good to catch up with you, Joe. Look for another one. We're going to record another one right after this that is going to be more focused on Syracuse and the dirt side of things. So make sure you check that one out. We're going to share some of the good stories for later.
Look
Okay.
out for that.
I got to
Tricky
check
number
out
3 turn.
and then the Raffadillies, that are off of
Raffadillies did not start at Syracuse.
No, that was Rolling Wheels, wasn't it?
Rolling Wheels
It was
started.
Rolling Wheels.
Yep.
We'll get more to that in a little bit. Guys, make sure to hit the blue E down there in that corner. That'll subscribe you. Let every time we're talking to somebody cool, or in this case, more than cool, as I'm here with Joe Marotta. Joe, thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Doug.